What's up guys, it is Sam here from Sam and Gino Talk Money, and today I'm going to go back into stocks. So the stock I really want to focus on today is Netflix, and they've just reported earnings this week, and it's going to be kind of interesting whether you think this is going to be a buy or something that you might want to actually look into yourself. So guys, I'm going to get all into about what I think about it, the price points I think to buy it at, where I think it's going to be interesting and where I'm adding it to my watch list, and just a bit about where their growth is going, some of their forecasts, and what I genuinely think of Netflix as a business and how they're going to grow in the future. So guys, let's get straight into the video. Right, so guys, Netflix has just reported, and it's one of the first of the big tech to get going this week, one of the first ones to report, and it's one of the more interesting ones to look at, as like Netflix has been one of the standout stocks of the last 20 years, and it's just an absolute beast of a company. They've done so much, they've grown so much in the last few years, since they were started in 2000, and it's nearly been on everybody's watch list, and it's a part of the FANG membership as well, of the tech stocks with Facebook, Amazon and Google as well. So Netflix, it's had a massive jump forward during COVID. So massive jump forward, everyone stuck at home, everyone went on subscription services, and a lot of them all did really, really well. And Netflix was a massive benefactor of the COVID lockdowns when people were stuck at home. And also you can see that with the other ones as well, with like Amazon Prime and Disney, all having massive increases in their users as well. So as the world started getting back to normal, you were kind of looking at this, how is Netflix going to maintain this growth going forward? And last year, they did have a net amount of subscribers actually leaving, but they actually managed to change it around in from Q3 and Q4. They did actually increase the amount of subscribers, but the start of last year was quite rocky for Netflix, and if you do remember correctly, if you have been following the stock for a while, it did fall a dramatic amount. So Netflix had fallen a crazy amount last year, and if I'm just going to look correctly, like over a year ago it was around the 190 mark, and it was all the way down from a peak of nearly 700, and it went all the way down to 175, or 162 was actually the bottom that it went. So that's a massive jump, a massive collapse of Netflix. So if you were the owner of that stock, basically in October of 2021, you saw a massive decrease in your portfolio if Netflix was a major holding. And since then, look, it's started to recover. And I'm just going to go through like what I actually have picked out like from the revenue report that they've released this week. And look, has some positive aspects, but also some negative aspects of it as well. So year-over-year growth has returned to around 3.7% in revenue, which I think is pretty good. And they've added 4.9% year-over-year to the subscriber count, which I think is also very, very good. It brings their total to 232 million subscribers, which still makes it the biggest video streaming service in the world. And that's just the thing. Like if you look at it from last quarter, Q4 of 2022, they only added a net of 1.75 million subscribers, and that's with the launch of their new ad tier. And now they're starting to clamp down on shared accounts as well. So once they probably get that figured out properly, and it's going to be probably rolled out, probably you'll see more accounts being added, so it's not going to have as much account sharing, and that will also boost revenue and boost the amount of subscribers that they do have. But yeah, so it's kind of difficult to see where they're going to get major growth from at this point, and that's where you're kind of looking at the valuation of Netflix. It's not going to have massive growth like it had in the early 2010s. So now you've got to look at it nearly from a more value perspective instead of a growth perspective. Is this company going to be something that you will want to buy? So Its current valuation is sitting at around a 34 PE, which the average of the market is around 18 to 20, is probably around the average, and it has a 4P of 29. So Netflix is pretty expensive. It's got limited growth of around 3% is forecast for 2023 by their own measures. People on Yahoo Finance seem to have growth at a higher level, but they've forecasted this year at a growth of around 3%. Yahoo Finance have said that they will increase by 11% next year, but look, that remains to be seen. We don't know what headwinds are going to come in the way this year. So if you're taking the valuation of 34 PE, you want it to probably be in and around the 20 PE mark if you're going to be looking at this to buy, because the growth is limited. So if you look at it to get to a 20 PE, you're nearly looking at a 40% drop in Netflix price from where it is right now. You can argue there is a premium to be paid for the moat of Netflix, the value of the brand as well. And look, they may return to significant growth in the future as more markets open up in the Asia Pacific region. So you can justify paying a bit more of a premium for Netflix because of them reasons. So you could be looking at around a 21, 22 PE if you want to make sure you're really getting a good return on your investment and beating the market. So for me personally, looking at Netflix, I want it below 200 if I'm going to be looking at buying this company. I have added it on my watch list in between sub 190, and I would love to get it at 180, but that is calling for a massive drop in Netflix stock at around 40%. And this, look, it could happen because it is overvalued. It's got limited growth ahead of it for the foreseeable, unless the Asia Pacific stuff does really heat up and they do get a lot more users there. But at the moment, it's pretty limited. And I think sub 200 is the perfect place to try to look at Netflix and get in. So I'm looking for Netflix in between the 180 to 190 mark to maybe start a position, but to start looking at it and continue to look at more research at it in around sub 200. And people are probably going to say this is probably unrealistic. Oh, it's never going to fall 40% again, but it did not so long ago go from nearly 700 down to 162. So it is something that can happen. I mean, just be careful with these companies that are slightly overvalued for the market that they are. They're overvalued even though they have such limited growth. It's kind of hard to see where the case is coming from, but it could return to big growth as more of the Asia Pacific does open up. So guys, that's my kind of take on Netflix and where I would buy it, what I think about it. It is in and around the 180 to 200 mark, but to start looking at it in and around 200. So guys, if you enjoyed this, made you look at Netflix, learn a bit about what's happening with them, do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It does help us out an awful lot, and I will see you in the next one.